Hi friends, it's Anne and Harley here, and in today's video, Harley's gonna do my makeup. Just kidding. He was just staring at me as I was getting ready, and I was like, I don't know what you want. So I picked him up. Hopefully he will not interrupt too much in today's video. I feel like I have to edit out. You hear him like pitter-patting and like squeaking every once in a while in videos, and I try my best to edit it out, but it's hard. He is very quiet though. Like, he's a very, very quiet dog. He doesn't bark really at all. He's so cute. Hey, buddy. Oh, you big sookies. UCB. Okay, I'm back. So today's video, actually, we're going to be using the Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde palette. I haven't tried this on my eyeballs at all, so this will be a first try. It's not new, obviously, but it's new to me. Super excited. And like, this is super, super pretty. This is like my aesthetic. Like, if I could put me in a palette, this is at least one very strong component of me. And yeah, pretty much everything else is going to be Project Pan stuff. I am going to try out this foundation today. Hopefully that goes fine. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Just a plain old get ready with me, because I haven't filmed one of these in a while and felt like doing it. Okay, I'm going to start with the face today. I'm going to go in with the No Problem Primer. This is the regular old primer from Touch and Soul. So as I usually start these videos, how y'all doing? I'm okay. Just had to check that my mic was on, because that's the worst when you film an entire video, especially one like this where you can't really undo it. Yeah. Things right now, I think the last time I talked about, let's get it out of the way, because it's like the elephant in the room, COVID. The last time I did a Get Ready With Me, I think I talked about Canada being really behind all vaccinations and I might never get vaccinated. We're catching up. We finally like have picked up momentum, and it's going, I mean, Ontario is still having some issues. Somehow we're not very good at distribution. Supply chain in this province is not great, which I should know, because, you know, when I order stuff and it, takes forever to get here. But anyway, yeah, we seem to be back on track with vaccinations, and funnily enough, later today, I am actually going to go get my first shot, so kind of excited, kind of nervous, kind of know what to expect now. I mean, I've seen a few people post and stuff. A little bit of a backstory on why I'm kind of nervous. Like, does anybody else do this? I'm always afraid of, like, when I do something that I've done it wrong and somehow I'm gonna get like turned away, especially because right now in our province, like, registering for a vaccine has just been like, pardon my language, a shit show. Like, it's been a nutcase situation. So what ended up happening was they identified hotspots, and I live in a hotspot. Yay. Which, I mean, yay, I'm prioritized for a vaccination, but shit, I live in a hotspot. And I mean, there was some controversy around that too. Mine was actually identified, to clarify, by the science table as a hotspot. I was kind of surprised that I was identified as a hotspot, because I didn't think we were a super hotspot. But we're like, there's like the hot hat, and we're like the high heat kind of area. So anyway, when they decided to sort of focus vaccines to hotspots, they opened up, it kind of went by postal code, or that's basically zip code if you're in the States. And eventually I got a notification through, actually it was my provincial, like my MPP, sent an email saying, hey, because you're in my postal code, register with this site. And it was like a registration, like, waiting list. And so I did that. And then they were like, oh, way too many people registered. We don't know what we're going to do yet. And then I found out after that there were sort of like two processes. So some people got a direct email saying, book your vaccine with this specific location, and you have like these couple of options, but just book it. And that foundation went on really well. Like, really well. Good matching job, Anne. I mean, it's a little light. I mean, it's not going to work very well for me in like a month, but that color match was really, really good. And it's like, it blended in so easily, and it doesn't look, it's sticking to some of my dry patches a little. I should have moisturized a second time before filming. Actually, I should have moisturized. I don't think I finished my, crap. I only did part of my skincare routine, and then I started getting ready, like the setup ready. Crap. Anyway, whatever, it's fine. So anyway, there was sort of like a 2-process thing, and I ended up getting an email saying like, you qualify basically to register for the, like, actually booking an appointment. So I did that, but again, they kind of gave you a bunch of locations, and I'm having to get this done at a location that's not near me. It's kind of far from me actually, and that's kind of weirding me out. Like, I don't know. And then, so when that all happened, so I was like super excited, got my appointment booked. Then like 2 days later, they opened it up in like, I think the entire province. Anybody 40 and up can register with like pharmacies. And I was like, oh, but I already booked my appointment. So I didn't want to cancel that, even though I could have probably booked a sooner appointment when they opened it up anyway. So I'm super stressed because it was like this big process of like registering. And again, I'm going to a location that's kind of far from me. But I've got like all the emails and everything, and I don't know. So hopefully it goes fine. So hopefully by the time you see this, I will have had my first shot. Again, kind of nervous. I'm a bit stressed out that I'm going to have an adverse reaction, and I don't know why I keep thinking that. Part of it is like I'm a bit stressed out right now just in general, and like, so I don't know if you can see, I've got a rash on my hand. This is what happens when I get stressed out. It usually just kind of is on my fingers. Like I'll get, like, it's like an eczema stress rash, but it's all over my hand. I'm like, oh, don't tell me that. Like, I'm trying not to be stressed, but you know, your body deceives you. Your body is just going to do what it's going to do. Even if your mind is like, I'm not stressed, I'm fine, everything's great. So I'm just going to give a light dusting all over with the Becca powder. The 2 things I just used was the Benefit Boing brightening concealer under my eyes, and then the Catrice liquid camouflage just on my like brow bone where my eyebrow microblading disaster happened, and I still have scarring here and scarring here. I should say that it was not that traumatic of an experience. It was not great, but it wasn't for me anyway. So yeah, so the other thing I want to mention is that my dad, he's got his first shot. I have a couple of friends that have already got their first shot. Pretty excited. I mean, once they opened it up to the 40 plus, there was all these like, because it was restricted to 55 and up for a long time, and there was like all these openings, and people were complaining like, why are all these openings, like nobody's booking. And so when they finally opened it to like 40 plus, our like vaccination numbers shot through the roof. It's like everybody was just like, give it to me, stick it in my arm. The problem being it was the AstraZeneca one, and I mean there's still that issue with the blood clot thing. We've had 2 cases here. I think both are men in their 60s that have had the adverse reactions. I don't think I'm getting the AstraZeneca one. So the way they're doing it is, I think those are through the pharmacy or through like local health providers. So like I know there's some doctors that are doing it through their own clinics. I'm getting this done through like the provincial clinic thing, and I'm pretty sure it won't be AstraZeneca, but I don't know. At this point, like, to be honest, I was kind of nervous and scared if it is AstraZeneca. But again, once you actually read the statistics, it's so low that you're going to have an adverse reaction, like the blood clots, that it's better than getting COVID, because you're way more likely to get a blood clot if you get COVID. So yeah, I'm kind of nervous, kind of excited, kind of feeling mixed feelings right now. But yeah, hopefully by the time you see this video, I'll probably post it on my Instagram when I get it, because I'm going to be that person that's going to do a vaccine selfie. Give me the shot. I've never been more excited for a vaccine. I can't even think if I've ever been excited for a vaccine. Like, it just seems so stupid. But like this whole scenario of panini times has been, this is what it's come down to. So yeah. Other than that, that's like been all consuming in my mind right now. The two things that I just used again were Project Pan stuff. This is the IVY Highlight and Contour Palette, and then the Butter Bronzer. Everybody knows what that is. I'm trying to hide the pans a little there, so when that video goes up, should be up maybe a week or so after this video, maybe less than a week, within a week, that you'll see the progress. I'm going in with the Stylist blush. I shot my stash should go up before this, so you would have seen that blush in the shot my stash. Work is going okay. I'm still working from home, so that's the other thing here. So let's keep talking about, you know, the elephant in the room. Ontario has had a shitstorm. We've had a third wave that's been really bad. Worse than our first and second waves. Like, it's amazing and frustrating that we're so bad right now a year into this. Like, nobody expected this. We expected this time last year, and yeah, it's a race between Alberta and Ontario in terms of what is the worst government and worst implementation measures for COVID. Like, it's been bad. I feel really bad for the people in hospitals. Now, I mean, people are also being hysterical. Like, it's bad, but if we do the right things, we can deal with it. The problem is so this is, again, I do work for the government, I'm just going to say that, but I'm just going to say, I don't know what they're thinking. So we had like 3 weeks in a row where they, you know, put in sort of lockdown. Just using my Buxom Bronze Goddess, I think, or Illuminating Goddess highlight thing in my Drop Tan Project Pan. So they like introduced lockdown stuff, but like over 3 weeks. And like when they first introduced, they're like, we're locking down. And like in Toronto, we were still locked down. So it was like they kept doing, without going into detail, they kept instituting restrictions that seem to be like not solving, like they're not, when people are saying this is the problem, we need to do X, they're like, we're going to do Y. Like, but why? Like, where does that come from? Like, it was so bizarre and frustrating. Like, I was definitely getting so angry watching the news because, you know, you're waiting for them to institute something that is going to make a difference, and then they institute something that is, again, restrictive, that nobody wants. Like, nobody likes these lockdowns. Again, we have a whole bunch of people that are like anti-lockdown, and they keep doing all these lockdown protests, and it's like, oh, for fuck's sakes, get out of here. Like, nobody likes this, but your little protest is useless. You just look like a bunch of dicks. So anyway, just doing the Essence Pure Nude Highlighter over top of that, just to give it a little extra oomph. Okay, I'm going to do my eyebrows, but I'm going to do them off camera because I feel like they take me a really long time lately, and then we'll come back and do the eyes. Okay, eyebrows are on. I just used the ABH Brow Freeze and the pencil side of the Urban Decay Brow Blade. And we're now going to do some eyeshadow. Oh, I need eyeshadow primer. Let me go get that. So I'm still working through the Urban Decay Primer Potion that I depotted, I think, in February, maybe January, when I opened up that tube. We're getting there, but there's still a ton left. I'm amazed at how much product was left in that tube. I was not expecting that. Like, and I really felt like I was really moving the wand around and like scraping it out, but this, I guess because it's so thick, it just really sticks to the side of the tube. Again, I had a deluxe sample of that primer potion, and it didn't have the wand. It was like a squeezy, kind of like, I think, the Milani one, and I prefer that. Like, I think that works a lot better for the product. I'm wondering if Urban Decay realized that if they keep it the wand way, that people don't realize they have so much left and then buy more. Like, I'm always like conspiracy theory about stuff like that. You know, do they do that on purpose? Anyway, again, we're going in with this palette today. I'm gonna keep it pretty neutral because, like I said, I'm going for my vaccine appointment later. I don't want to look too crazy. I mean, I'm gonna be wearing the mask the entire time, so they're just gonna be able to see my eyes. But let's not go too crazy. I think I'm gonna stick with these two colors right here, and maybe like using these two as well. So those are the shades Cosmic, Off Balance, Crash, and Momentum. Oh, maybe I can use, no, okay, let's keep it at that. Let's keep it We're going to keep it light, easy, and breezy. Light, easy, breezy. So the other thing I just wanted to say is I want to say thank you for everyone's support. Like, I feel like, I don't know, I'm feeling really good about my channel. I'm feeling really good about the connections that I've made with you guys and how things are going. I will say I don't know. I was posting a lot in March. I feel like I've kind of slowed down a little bit, and that's going to be like that for the next little while. Trying to find a happy balance of I would love to post more, but I don't have the energy or the time to do it because I do have a full-time job. But yeah, so I'm just going to pull my bangs to the side. There we go. And yeah, I just feel like, I don't know, thanks guys. Like, I feel really supported right now, and that feels good. Can't remember the last time I felt like that. So just going in with that off balance. It was like a pinky mauve shade. And like, especially so recently, I mean, it'll be posted now. I talked about the Vita Apparel ambassador thing. Just super nervous about doing. There's been a couple of things that have come across my eyes or email that have been like, hey, would you like to? And I don't know. I always felt they just weren't right for me. Whereas the Vita Apparel thing, it sort of hit a good sweet spot of, yes, I get it. It's, you know, affiliate code and people have feelings about those. And I'm trying to keep my channel very like, this is just me. This is a hobby. I like to do what I'm doing. And if I can, you know, make it as a side living, I will never be big enough to make this as like a full living. But if I can make it something that's, you know, useful and interesting and contributing good to the world, then yay. But I don't really want to go down the route of like, I'm trying to think of like the right way to say it, but like a Jaclyn Hill. Like, I don't want to go down the route of like collaborating with like a bunch of brands and really marketing and being very salesy with everything. That's not the intention of my channel. I'm just here to give reviews. I'm not here to push product on you. If you watch my videos, you know a lot of my reviews are like, this is good, but this is not good. So like, I always give like an in-between on a lot of stuff because I try and see both sides. I try and see why I really like something and what it is about it that I really like. That's the reason why I like it. But then also flip side, like if you remove that element, would I still like it? Like, for example, sometimes something I really like, it's because it works really well with my skin tone. The caveat is if you have a very different skin tone, you may not like it. Like, I always kind of mention those things. Just want to be honest. Again, I guess this is much more fuchsia pink than I thought it was going to be. Like, this is it in the palette and this is it on my eyes. Does it not look brighter pink on my eye? Huh. That was unexpected. I mean, that's not bad. It was just more pink than I expected. Maybe I'm going to blend in some of this Karma shade. It's a bit browny. Just to maybe bring this down a little. That's a bit better. There we go. So yeah, I really appreciate the support with the Vita Apparel stuff. Again, I do feel a bit weird. But again, I liked the company. I liked what they're doing. And it's like, if I can, you know, provide that discount, then why not? Like, why not? Right? And support what I think is a good company or developing into a good company. Because they're still pretty new. I think they've only been around maybe, I don't know, 2017, 2018. I guess in all transparency too, I can mention that like my channel is monetized now because I hit 1,000 subscribers. I already had the number of views. I've had the number of views for like almost a year, but I didn't have enough subscribers. But I hit 1,000 subscribers in January, and then I was able to monetize my channel. And I still haven't been paid yet because you have to reach a threshold, and I think every country has a different threshold. So in Canada, you have to reach $100. I have yet to reach $100, but I'm getting very close. So I think in May, I might hit my first $100. So yay, made $100. My intention is to take whatever I make off this channel and put it back into the channel. So I take whatever I make to buy products to review and to test and to share, maybe put in giveaways, things like that. You know, that's my intention with monetizing this channel. So thank you for watching, because it helps. It helps me grow this channel and build it into something better. You know what I mean? Just going all over with that cosmic shade. Kind of want to wet it and see what it would look like wet. They said I wanted to keep the eye look very simple, and here we go, going glitter crazy. Okay, let's just maybe stop there. Let's stop. I'm actually just going to leave it as those two colors, and then I'm going to put liner on. So I'm going to put the Marc Jacobs liner on because I have it right here. I have the worst eyebrows ever. If I could just do that, I feel like they look so much better. Especially this one. Anyway, sorry, complaining. So I guess I can talk about, let's talk about other stuff. So, shows that I've been watching. So, I finally finished up Homeland. I know I'm way behind, except for there's a season 8, but it's not on Netflix yet. And apparently it's going to come to Netflix Canada at some point. I'm hoping some point this year it comes. Man, that's a good show. Like, I know I'm behind the 8 ball on that, and I'm pretty sure everybody that's here has watched it. If you had not watched it, go watch it. It's a really good show. I kind of had to pace myself on it because some episodes are pretty intense, and it does really change and morph as it goes along. But such a good show. Like, I find, for me, I find a lot of shows predictable. Like, even, so the movie Knives Out, a lot of people were like, oh my god, it was so unexpected twisted. I'm like, I watch a lot of murder mysteries though, so it's funny, I've been watching a show called Hinterland, which is pretty good. Like, I do like those murder mystery British shows, and they're long episodes, they're like an hour and a half, and it's based in Wales, which is really interesting, like, because they have, like, when you're watching the show, they have, like, English and Welsh on all the signs, and, like, the Welsh language is just, like, fucked up. Like, it's so weird. And then, like, all the names of the characters are very Welsh names. Like, it's really interesting that way. But I find, like, I can pretty much predict, like, who the killer is pretty quickly, and, like, why, like, what the background, I don't know, like, I just can figure stuff out, because again, I watch a lot of them and I read a lot of them. Like, I've read all the Agatha Christie Poirot books, like almost all of them. I've read a lot of books like that, so I find a lot of shows are very predictable. But man, Homeland was not predictable. Like, it was like a couple of times, like Game of Thrones a couple of times, so that really threw me off. Game of Thrones is another one where they, like, but again, I read the books before I watched the show, so I wasn't too surprised by the show, obviously. But yeah, so Homeland, really, really good show. Again, mentioned Hinterland, I'm watching that. I need to find a new show to watch. There's one that's just come up called Shadow and Bone, I think, or Shadows and Bones, or something like that. That looks interesting. I did start watching Parks and Rec. I'm very, like, I don't know why, but I'm not a half-hour sitcom kind of person. For whatever reason. I don't mind watching them, but they're not a show that I sit and watch, like, over time. Like, they're always something that I just throw on, like, when I'm eating dinner, but I don't really pay attention to, you know what I mean? And it's funny, because Parks and Rec, like, I work in government now. I think I wouldn't have found that show interesting prior to working in government. It's very funny watching it now that you work in government and just seeing, like, some of the things that they're saying. I'm like, yeah, totally get that now. Alright, I'm going to put this mascara on. This is the Essence Volume Stylist Curl and Hold Mascara. This is part of my Essence Mascara testing series that will come out, I'm going to say it's probably going to be early June by the time I get through all the other mascaras and really have a solid opinion on them. And I do like to keep them open for a couple weeks, because mascaras, when you first use them compared to 2 weeks in, is always different. I feel like 2 weeks is sort of the sweet spot where that's where you're going to notice if it's going to change, that's when it changes. And usually it's because they dry out, so they'll change how they work because they dried out a little bit. So yeah, Homeland, a really good show, but yeah, I need to find something else to watch now. Because that took me, like, I think I started that in January. I'm very slow at watching shows. I don't binge very often. When I binge is the days that I don't feel well, and it's like, I realize after, it's like, oh, I watched like 3 episodes in a row. I must not feel very well, because I have like 0 attention span. I'm really bad for, what I've started doing is, because I'm really bad for like checking my phone halfway through a show, or like partway through a show, and then I like realize I missed stuff. Because I live on my own, I just rewind the show now instead of like totally missing out what was happening, and then I have to like force myself to like put the phone down, or like, no, you don't have to get up and do XYZ. You can wait until the show is over. But sometimes I do that. Like sometimes I will pause a show, like it'll be 15 minutes in. I'm like, oh, I should start the laundry. So I just pause the show and start the laundry. It's great when you live alone because you can do that. I mean, if I lived with somebody else, they would probably think I'm crazy because I stop and start things. Like even movies. I rarely sit and watch a whole movie all the way through. I often, 9 times out of 10, I'll watch about half of it. And then I'll watch the rest another time. I watched the movie The Old Guard, I think it's called. And I think I watched that over three days. It's not bad. I kind of liked the premise. I liked the storyline. I like Charlize Theron. I mean, she's an incredibly attractive person. I kind of wish, like, there's a lot that they could have put in. I feel like there's a lot of backstory that's kind of missing, that they kind of skip over. It would be really cool, like, if they did a prequel to that. Oh, man, mascara just makes the world of a difference. Like, if anybody ever asked, that the basic products that I would use are an eyebrow something to deepen my eyebrows. I would probably even live without that, but that's something, you know, if I could do my eyebrows and do mascara and a lip gloss, I'm good. Okay, I'll zoom you out and then we'll just do the lips and wrap up this video. Really liking the eyeshadow. It's just very pretty and very simple. I liked how they blended. They blended really, really well together. So I'm really happy with that. I'm really excited to play with this palette a bit more because there's a lot of interesting colors, and I've seen some people do some really nice looks. I want to maybe Google some looks and try some other people's looks out, and I definitely want to maybe post them on my Instagram. I wish you could... Oh, I don't have my phone here. Harley's sleeping, but he's doing like the dream twitch sleeping. Hopefully that's picking up on the mic. Okay, for lipstick, I'm just doing this NYX Pinup Pout in Almost Famous. Again, pulled that out of my Shop My Stash. Works well with that eye color. It's maybe a little cool toned. Maybe I'll put a lip gloss on that's got some sparkle, and that will help. So that's it. That is the final look. I really like the eyeshadow, like I said, and it wasn't really much about the testing. All this stuff, it's mostly Project Pan stuff. Oh, the other thing I wanted to do, this is something I've been doing, is taking a big fluffy brush. I don't have the big one, so I have that big monster one that I got through Ipsy, but here's just like another big brush, and I take the Essence Nude, and I like dust it all over, and I feel like it gives me, so when I was using that Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless filter, I feel like this gives me the same kind of effect, where I just lightly dust it all over. I have like a glow all over. I don't know if it'll show on camera very well. I just lightly dust it all over my face, and I feel like, again, maybe it's a mature skin thing or maybe a dry skin thing. I feel like it gives this like ethereal glow all over that's just very flattering. It's almost like an hourglass powder as well. So yeah, I was like, if you have this, try that. Try putting this like with a big fluffy brush all over your face. That will give you the effect that the Hollywood Flawless filter gives. If you're not sure if you want to buy that Hollywood Flawless filter, or if you've never tried it and you want to know what kind of effect it gives, if you were to put it all over your face, do that with this. I mean, I didn't really do it very heavily here, but again, it just kind of gives a nice little all over glow, and it's subtle, but it's there. I don't know. I really, really, really like that. Anyway, that's my little get ready with me, my little chit chat, little update on life. I'm super nervous. I'm going for my vaccine appointment later. I'll have to like keep myself occupied until then and not stress too much. But anyway, I hope you liked this video. If you did, feel free to give it a little thumbs up down below. And if you haven't already, I would love it if you did subscribe to my tiny little channel here in Toronto, Canada. I hope you're doing well, and I'll see you sometime soon. Bye.